Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? It's your boy Isaiah. Listen, I got something special for you after this. Stay tuned.
Most definitely, definitely, definitely.
Hey, so what's the deal? What's going on, man? Hopefully everything is going well with you. And man, I just wanted to drop by briefly and talk a little bit. Listen, have you subscribed to my Most Definitely podcast? If you have not subscribed to it or checked it out, the link is in the description down below. I want to encourage you to check that mug out, man. Listen, I was rolling the other day listening to one of the podcasts I did about a couple, like almost 3 weeks, almost a month ago. So encouraging. And I'm not saying that, of course, just because it's me, but you know what? It's crazy in life when you go through stuff and don't realize how the things that you don't treasure at the moment starts to begin to actually grow on you. You're like, wow, that was so awesome. Have you ever did something and walked away from it for a couple months and came back to it and was like, man, this is actually really awesome. This is really nice. Similar to anything that we do concerning, progress or moving forward, or even say, for instance, like you was exercising, right? You got your body to a good place, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't really see it at the time. And then you look back at some pictures and you're like, wow, this is crazy. I actually really did lose the weight, right? And so that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, what I begin to realize about the stuff that I'm doing with my Most Definitely podcast. So I want to encourage you guys to check that out. The link is in the description below. But that's neither here nor there. What I want to talk about right now is this, man. Check this out, man. So listen. So this week for me, man, has been really encouraging. It's been really awesome. And the good thing about this week is that, not only have I seen progress when it deals with, you know what I'm saying, communication skills and also progress, you know what I'm saying, in just the podcast world in general. I'm telling you, I've seen big progress, man. And looking back at some of the things that I've done a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, man, I begin to see like how, you know what I'm saying, you'll be doing something and not even really know how you're doing it or why you're doing it, but you'll look back and say, man, this is so crazy, man. I was actually doing what I'm actually hoping for today or what I'm living in today. And so I want to encourage you right now, whatever situation you in or what you living in right now, is don't get discouraged with where you are. Like look at the situation where you are right now. And even if you don't see the progress you want to see, I want to encourage you to live in the moment, to appreciate the moment, because this moment is a big moment in your life. It really truly is. You might not feel it, man, but this is a big moment. You know what I'm saying? Like things are changing rapidly. You know what I'm saying? Left and right, things are changing. And it's really crazy because, if you're not careful, you'll overlook the progress because tomorrow hasn't came yet, right? But yesterday is already finished. And today, this moment you're living in, many things is happening. And so I wanted to encourage you on that note and let you know that, like, as you continue to progress and move forward, as you continue to look towards, you know what I'm saying, your future, don't forget about right now. Don't forget about today. Don't forget about the things that you are seeing right now, because this is a big opportunity to be able to see progress, you know what I'm saying, in your life, not on the note of just like saying like, hey, my future is here. I'm moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Things is really happening, but progress doesn't deal with the simple fact of what's tomorrow. Progress deals with the fact of what you've already come through, the things that you've, the battles that you fought, the different, struggles that you came through. Think about that for a second. Meditate on where you've been and think about all of the struggles you came through, all of the hardships, all of the things that you thought wasn't going to actually be, easy for you to make it out of. But for some way, I mean, some way, somehow, you made it out of those things, right? And so that's what I begin to realize, in my personal life is that, my biggest struggle, what I'm saying, that I struggle with, right, of course, was being able to communicate effectively without fear, right? And I know that everybody faces fear and experiences fear, right? But fear was such a dominant presence in my life where it dictated everything that I did. It made me see more of myself as lesser than, you know what I'm saying, actually encouraging me to take a next step. Because some people use fear as a component, you know what I'm saying? They use it as, something that allows them to get better with writing, with, battle rap and all of this stuff. You hear it every time. People's like, yeah, I was afraid. I still did it. And it was amazing how I was able to overcome those situations, by being afraid. And I realize now that I'm going to use that to my advantage. But when you're dealing with something like a communication issue, or you're dealing with something like being afraid of, being able to be open and to be vulnerable, it's a little bit different. And I'll tell you why. Because fear doesn't necessarily, keep you from being authentic and real, but fear stops you, from true progress, from moving forward, right? It stops you from, getting to the place you want to go, from your blessing. Today I was outside with my son, and I was teaching him how to ride this scooter, right? So we up the street, and I'm just talking to him about, getting on the scooter. And he had an opportunity to get onto it the day before, and he realized when he had got on the scooter and pressed a button, the scooter was like, and it went real fast, and it swept underneath him, and he was still standing, but he got afraid and said, "I'm not doing it again." So today I was talking to him about, I'm like, you know what, just like, you get on the scooter, you just take it slow, you take one step at a time. So we're up the street. He kept saying that he did not want to get on the scooter at all. He even started to get emotional. And I was just like, okay, all right, let me get the scooter. Got the scooter, was walking back down the street to him. And I was talking to him, letting him know, like, listen, in life, there's going to be a lot of many different things that happen to you. But I don't want you to get to a place to where you'll begin to say, I don't want to do it because I was afraid. I tried it one time and it didn't work out. So I'm talking to him and explaining this to him and everything. And he's listening. You get what I'm saying? But of course, my son is young. So, there's bits and pieces that he's processing. And then other parts, he's just like, hey, I'm not getting on this scooter. So we get back down to my house and, we get there. I'm still talking to him, letting him know, like, I'm proud of him first for even getting on a scooter, putting on his pads and, taking a step to move forward, because that's a big thing. He still put on his pads. He still tried to get on the scooter, and he still attempted it. And that was a big, big thing for me. And I wanted him to know that that's progress. That is awesome. You got on this scooter, you moved forward, and you kept going. Now check this out. So we get back to the house, and my older son was like, Daddy, let me get on the scooter. I'm like, cool. I'm like, all right. So he gets on the scooter, he rides it, and then my youngest son sees him on the scooter drive up the street, and instantly he says, Daddy, I want to try it again. And I'm like, okay, cool. Little man, bring the scooter back. That's my son's nickname. So he brings the scooter back, and then my son gets on the scooter. He gets on it. He looks at me. He takes one, leap on there, and then he literally goes up the street on it. And then he's like, whoa, he's riding on the scooter. And he went like literally, he didn't go far, but he went, a decent amount of the way. And he was like, Daddy, I did it. I did. I'm like, yeah, you did that thing, man. You made it happen. So, hey, shout out to my son right quick. I got to take a second to pause and give him thanks or appreciate his progress. And so the crazy part was, he kept doing it. And then we kept going further and further and further and further until he was like so happy he was able to ride all the way up the street, ride all the way back down the street. So we actually rode to the store and then came back. But just check this out, though. This is so important and so big. And this is what really blew me away. So we get back to the house. We sit down on the stairs and we're talking. We're having a conversation. I was telling him how proud I was of him, and that, I'm just, first of all, proud of him for even fighting his fear, for going up against his fear, stepping on his fear. And in that moment, I realized something, that everybody learns differently. See, my son, I was able to talk to him about overcoming his fear, but when he was looking at somebody else on what he was afraid of, he was able to overcome his fear. So I began to understand something, that he is able to look at a situation, right? And he's able to see somebody else do it, and that gives him confidence to get better. Everybody learns differently, right? So I want to encourage you that just because that last time didn't work, right? Or just because you made an effort to do it the last time and it didn't seem to turn out the way you thought it should, I want to encourage you to try it again. Because your second attempt, your third attempt, your fourth attempt, your fifth attempt, however many times it takes you to do it, you have to continue to do it, and don't give up and keep moving forward. And you know what? What's so crazy is I've learned something today, even from my kids, is that you can learn, by watching other people to overcome your fears. If there's something that you are afraid of, go around other people and look at them, do the things that you're afraid of. Because you might be a person that actually has to see something in order to overcome something. And then some people just are bold and just go out there like David and just slay Goliath. Like, hey, nobody's going to, defile God's armies. Some people are like that. But just because, everyone is different, I'm realizing something that don't knock yourself on your progress, your potential for moving forward, because everybody has a unique way, you get what I'm saying, of overcoming fears, right? So I wanted to encourage you there. And I also learned today something that was so big is that the guy who created the light bulb, I forgot his name, but he tried many times and he failed many times before he got the light bulb to work. And somebody made that statement. He said, "No, I didn't fail, getting it to work." He said, "I failed, basically, well, in me actually, my attempts to actually get the light bulb to work, I found out what not to do." So it just depends on how you look at your situation. It depends on how, what I'm saying, you're viewing your situation, right? So, your perception of a situation can change, what I'm saying, your whole reality of a thing. If you look at something and you're afraid, like for my son, for example, if he would have looked at somebody else riding the bike and it seemed scary to him, he would have never got onto it. But his perception, how he looked at it, is what gave him the courage to get on the bike. So I want to encourage you, your perception and how you look at things is going to ultimately determine your success, or it's going to prevent you from taking a step to move forward to walk in your success. So, you got to make sure that you're looking at it with a healthy lens, right? And so for my son, for example, he looked at that and said, "I can do it too." Now, since I've seen it, now I know I can do it. I've attempted it. And he wasn't able to see himself on that scooter, right? But now, you get what I'm saying? When he saw his brother on the scooter, he was able to see himself, envision himself riding the scooter, and that gave him confidence. And so everybody learns differently, right? Everybody has a different approach to different situations. But what I learned is that perception changes your whole atmosphere, changes what you do. So never be afraid to take another step. Never be afraid to try it again. Never be afraid to step outside of the box, right? I'll give you another example too. The other day, me and my family, we went to IKEA furniture, and there was this picture section that was back by the bathroom. The bathroom, like when you walk out the bathroom, there were some pictures on the wall, and I looked at the picture and I was like, dang, I was like, man, this picture's crazy. The whole picture was gray, but then there was this red bike that was on the picture, and the red bike stood out. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? It's kind of crazy how in life, this is how perception is. You'll look at the picture and you'll see this big red bike, and like you only single that out. So sometimes in life, people only single out the big part of their life and they're focusing on that and they miss the rest of the picture. So I asked my family a question. I said, "Hey, come here, y'all. I want to show y'all something." So I asked them all the question. I said, "What do you see when you look at this picture?" And my daughter said something that blew me away. She said, I told them what I saw in it, and then my daughter said something that was so powerful. She said, "Daddy," she said, "this picture, you know what I'm saying, she said, it looks like, the red bike." She said, "That could be, somebody standing out." And when she said that, it was so shocking to me because it's perception. It's how you look at your situation. If you see yourself as, for example, when she said what she said, I was like, dang, you know what? I can only imagine how bad a person would feel standing out with everything else being the same. But that's not, it's perception. It's how you see it, right? Somebody will look at it and say, "Man, that's an awesome thing. I'm doing something nobody else is doing." But perception will change the reality, you get what I'm saying, of your situation. So I want to encourage you. If it seems crazy, this is crazy, your situation looks crazy, I want you to take a second look at it and think about it again, and begin to see and see what's different in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Don't magnify, the problem, but look at it differently. And then you'll start to see, wow, this actually is the part of the whole picture. This is exactly what I should be looking at. And so I need to look at the whole picture and not just single out this one part. And so with that being said, that right there is what was the highlight, you know what I'm saying, of perception for me, to be able to see that sometimes people think about things differently in how they view it. But this is where I want to encourage you, regardless of how you view your situation, never underestimate your sight and how you view it, right? Because you know what? You could actually discourage yourself because you don't see it like the next person. You have to realize your importance and how valuable it is that you saw what you saw, because your perception of a situation is what you see. But I want to encourage you to look at it with a healthy lens, right? So, for example, say somebody got on some glasses and there's some dirty glasses, right? They all messed up. They can't see clear. But if you take those glasses off, you clean them off, you're able to see clear. So you have to have a clear vision of your of what you're doing, right? So your perception will be a little bit different than seeing something through a dirty lens, than seeing something through, a tainted lens. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been learning though. So I just wanted to encourage you guys with that, because this is the most important part, you know what I'm saying, of your process moving forward, man, and seeing things differently. And this is how you obtain success, right? Success is not granted to those, you get what I'm saying, that do things perfectly. Success is granted to those who make many mistakes along the way, many failures. But you don't look at your failures as something that you are defeated by. Just like the guy who invented the light bulb. He didn't see his failures as defeat. He saw them, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to try something different. All his mistakes he made told him what not to do so he can create the light bulb. Your mistakes, it's your perception, how you view it. Your mistakes are not anything that, you know what I'm saying, should keep you from trying. Just because it didn't work the last time doesn't mean that it's not going to work this time. So as you continue to move forward, right, you have to have a different perception about it, right? So say it didn't work last time, right? That's not an excuse to give up. That's not an excuse to change the direction. In fact, that's a sign that you should continue, because you know what I'm saying? Success is granted to those who are, their perception is completely different. No matter what you look at, like Martin Luther King, for example. This is Black. Are we in still Black? I believe so. No. It was in February, I believe. And listen, don't get upset with me. I got to do this right quick. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So listen, don't get upset with me if I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm Black. I understand that. But listen, you know what? I haven't done my research, so excuse me on that. But I just want to say this, that Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying, his vision and how he viewed a certain something is what actually, his perception about the situation is what changed it, right? You know what I'm saying? He was able to see that there was something else that was at work other than, you get what I'm saying, what people were showing him, other than what people were saying. And so that's what I begin to realize personally in my life. How I'm viewing my situation is going to determine the effort I put in, and it's going to also determine my next step. Because sometimes you could tell yourself, oh, this is not good enough, and then you won't try to do it again. There's been many times I gave up on many songs in my life because the perception of other people, because the perception of what I thought about what other people said, because I thought that it was more valuable. You get what I'm saying? If another person was like, that's awesome. But it's about your perception, because your identity is different than the next person. As you continue to trust the process and what the Lord is taking you through is what God is delivering you from, you begin to see that your perception and what you have to say is important. It's vital, right? It's important. Not one person created medicine. It took a team to get together to create something that can cure headaches, that can cure muscle aches, right? And that is the perception. You get what I'm saying? The perception of the team is what accumulated to these things happening. But you have to own your own perception. You have to own your own identity. You got to see what you have to say is valuable and it matters. And so the perception of something to change ultimately everything. And so I wanted to encourage you with that and let you know that you are valuable and you're not forgotten. My computer's about to die. But you are valuable and you're not forgotten. You have something worthwhile. It matters. It is important, that you continue to go. It's important that you continue to strive, to do what is good for you to do, right? You don't give up as you continue to move forward in this process, in your progress, to see things change in your life, right? And so I just wanted to encourage you with that. Let you know that, that you are progressing, you're moving forward, that, your better days are ahead of you, that the things that once was challenging for you is going to get easy for you, that, the way that you once did things and it didn't work out or turn out to be ultimately success for you, are going to be successful for you, even if you don't make the next hit song or make the next hit record or make the next wonderful movie skit or YouTube video. Perception, will change the way that you create. Perception will change the way, that you operate. Perception, how you view something, will change your whole atmosphere. Everything you do is going to be changed by how you view your situation, right? And I was able to see this from my son, who is 10 years old, learning to ride a bike. And his fear was telling him not to. But what he saw, his perception, is what gave him the courage to get back on it and try again. So I want to challenge you today. How are you looking at your situation? Is your situation keeping you from making a YouTube video? Is it keeping you from writing your gospel rap because it's not like the next person? Is it challenge? Are you challenged by the perception of what somebody else says? Or are you going to continue to do it because of how you view it and what you see? And how you see it, right? That determines your success. That determines your identity. That determines your uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? That's different than everyone else's. And so I want to encourage you. Continue to do what you've been doing and keep moving forward. And don't get discouraged because it's not like the next person. Remember that you are like that picture. You're that red bike. You stand out. You know what I'm saying? You are unique and different. You're not like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You are unique. And that's what makes you stand out. So be encouraged, man, and know that, you know what I'm saying, good things is coming your way. Listen, if you're on this YouTube channel and it's your first time dropping on, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Listen, why you ain't subscribed? You ain't subscribed to this channel? Hey, why you ain't subscribed to this channel? You know you're supposed to be subscribed to this channel because you belong here. You're a part of the team. I want to encourage you. Hit that red button and come on, man. Why are you waiting? No, I'm just playing, but I'm not playing. No, I'm serious. I'm just playing. But listen, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. It'll most definitely mean the world to me because as I continue to grow, you know what, we can grow together. You know what I'm saying? And if this message was encouraging you, send me write something down in the comments down below. Let me know how this message was inspiring to you because I want to know, right? And even if you don't say anything, you can hit that like button, right? It's down here somewhere, I think, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And the subscribe is over here. Or is it on this side? I don't know. It's down there somewhere. But I encourage you, you know what I'm saying, to stay locked in and linked with your boy because I want to continue to inspire, uplift, and encourage in Christ our Lord. I'm so excited. And everything's down in the link below. My podcast, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can stay linked in and locked with your boy. And don't forget to come check me out when I'm gaming because I'll be shutting it down in Call of Duty. What you know about it? Most definitely. All right, y'all. Listen, man, thank you for dropping by the channel. It's always a privilege to be able to share what's good, what's hopeful, and what's inspiring and encouraging because that's why God put me where I am today. And I want to continue to give it as I continue to do what he's calling me to in the name of Christ. So thank you guys for dropping by. And I want to continue to tell you, you know what I mean, that you are blessed, that God is doing some good things, and you ain't seen your best days yet. And one last thing before I go. You already know, most definitely.